Hey, Zebu from Resident Fortress here. So today, the boys and I finally got around to watching Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. After watching it, I didn't plan on making this video, honestly. I thought it was just really good and that was that. But after walking out of the theater satisfied, we could hear the groups in front of us talking about how much this movie sucked and that they wasted their time. They didn't like this movie, they made it pretty obvious. Their parents walked out looking not impressed or satisfied at all. It was two demographics. It was a group of kids and a group of preteens, and neither of them liked it. We were the only ones that looked like we had a good time there, and that motivated me to make this video. One of my boys was even like, they looked over at me and they said, "You should make a video on this," because my last video was about a similar topic, like very similar to this movie. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. I think it's my best video. But without further ado, we're gonna be talking about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It should go without saying, major spoiler alert warning here. If you haven't seen this, go watch it. I'd highly recommend it. Put this video in your watch later list, go watch the movie, come back and watch this, because trust me, you don't want to have this spoiled for you. For those of you that have seen it, or if you went to see it and just came back to this video, welcome back. Let's begin. Those people that walked out of the theater not liking this movie missed all the underlying messages of this film. They just took it at face value and walked out. There's a lot more to this film than just funny cat fights big monsters. No, there's really a lot more here. It's established here that Puss is a really confident guy. He rushes into danger and comes out unscathed. It's at this point where Puss gets a little bit too cocky and dies. After waking up, the doctor tells Puss that he's on his last life. He's wasted almost all 9 lives and recommends that Puss just go be a house cat for an old lady. Of course, Puss doesn't care. He just wants to keep living his life, doing his own thing. He turns down the doctor's offer to be a house cat and just barges out. It's at this point where Puss starts questioning himself but also mocking what the doctor told him to do.
Retire. You are too good looking to retire.
It's at this moment where we, the viewer, are introduced to death. At first, Puss is just sitting there awkwardly looking at him, wondering who this guy is and how he just appeared next to him. And we, as the viewer, don't really know what's going on either until he pulls this out, and then we start getting an idea of who he is, a bounty hunter. And it's at this moment where Puss delivers this line here.
Puss in Boots laughs in the face of death. Bounty hunter.
Puss, being his confident self, quickly realizes that he's outmatched. Puss starts to get serious, but it's just not enough to put up with Death. Death clearly outmatches him, and it's not even close. After trying to put up a fight with Death and clearly not standing a chance, Puss starts to feel immense fear for the first time. The choreography here was amazing. Pixar really knocked it out of the park. Puss being on his last life and fighting a guy that can kill him right there, even cutting him in the head where Puss feels the blood and then realizes he has no chance. But after quite literally being hit with the realization that his life could end right here, feeling the blood run down his face, his life flashes before his eyes while he's taunted by Death as he tells him this. Puss's hair raises as he's in fear. Knowing he has 1 life left, he really doesn't want to die, so his best option here was just to run away. And that's what he did. That sets the tone for the rest of the movie. Puss trying to run away from Death. Trying to escape Death, but no matter where he goes, Death always follows. And since he has 1 life left, he can't lose it. After running away from Death, he takes up the doctor's offer to go live his life as a house cat. When he makes it there, it's then Puss decides to put down his identity as Puss in Boots and just live the rest of his life safe and simple. Okay, that was probably a lot to take in, and I fast forwarded a lot here, but you get the idea. Puss is trying to escape Death. Here, Puss lets himself go, but meets a dog named Perito. Perito is very optimistic. He's like the guiding light to Puss and pretty much everyone around him. He's also very lovable, and you can't really hate this guy. He changes the mood when watching this film. It's later we find out about his backstory, and it's honestly really sad.
They tried putting me in a packing crate, a dumpster. No matter how hard they try, I always find them. So one day, they get creative, and they put me in a sock with a rock in it, and then throw me in a river. I gnawed a hole in the sock, and I swam to the surface. Never found them, or my litter mates. Well, joke's on them. That sock they put me in, I grew into it. So, I got a great story and a free sweater out of it. I already have a comfy sweater and 2 best friends. I got everything I could wish for. No magic required.
Despite all of this, Perito doesn't want revenge or hold a grudge. He simply has a positive outlook on life and continues to keep moving. He looks for the good in people and tries to make friends along his way. Puss wanted more lives, Kitty wanted someone she could trust, Horner wants to rule the world, and Goldilocks just wants a real family. A parallel to Perito would be the cricket. He tries to find the good in Jack Horner, but just simply can't redeem him. Jack was the one character I couldn't understand. What was his role in this movie? But then it became clear to me that not every character is redeemable. In life, you can't redeem everybody. In a world where we're trying to abolish the death penalty and give criminals less time, this movie was a breath of fresh air to see that Jack Horner was not redeemed whatsoever. He has no remorse for killing. Even those that work for him, he ends up killing them and just doesn't care. The cricket that still tries to find the good in him just can't redeem him. He ends up just leaving him entirely. The empathy cricket was a more straightforward answer than Perito was. Jack knows he's a terrible human being, but doesn't care. His backstory wasn't even that sad. He's not trying to get back at the world, but more so wants to rule the world. Kitty, however, got her answer pretty quickly. By helping Puss help her, she in turn helps him at the very end. Not literally, but metaphorically. Her wish had already been granted when she met Perito. Perito's wish was granted when he met Puss. And Puss realized he didn't need the wish she had wanted. Goldilocks was adopted by the 3 little bears, but she wanted a real family. When she tells the bears that she doesn't want them anymore and she wants a new family, the bears get upset, but they allow her the wish.
What is it, eh? What's your just right? What's so blasted important that you've got us stranded in this haunted forest?
I'm getting a family! That's what, a proper family! Then everything will be just right.
You're just right. It's getting rid of us.
Come on. You didn't think I would actually stay? I'm not a bear.
When Goldilocks is met with the decision to save her family or wish for a new one, she opts to save the bears. She had her wish all along, she just wanted something more. Her story doesn't intertwine with Puss's, but it's a really good one. It's a good reminder to appreciate what you have and appreciate the people around you, because in life you don't get a wish. Goldie had given up her moment right there to save what she had, and she made the better choice. Family is still family, regardless if you're a bear or not. This finally brings us to Puss having to face his fear. While he wanted to make the wish to have 9 lives again, Death taunts him and tells him to either take the pussy's way out or face him once again. When he stops to think about it, he knows that he's lived this one life to the fullest. He doesn't need 9 lives. This is it right here. He's going to face his fear. Death is not the real villain of this movie. Jack is, but Death is a reminder to everyone watching that Death is watching, and you shouldn't be afraid of death. Live your one life creating memories that you'll look back on. Enjoy your time here, and don't be afraid of death. It's here where Puss realizes this and knows he's lived a good life. He takes up the challenge and fights death. And then they both throw down in a Zelda Twilight Princess Ganondorf final boss fight. Pixar really blew this movie out of the water, and it's super good, with a great message that I really couldn't do justice in this video. If you've seen this, you know what I'm talking about. It's one of those movies where you could be too young to enjoy and know the messages, or too old to care. Don't take this movie at face value, but instead enjoy the messages being presented. This movie is now in my top 10 favorites, and trust me, I've seen a lot of movies. Did you like this movie? If not, tell me why in the comments below. This has been Zebu from Resident Fortress, signing